So you've bought a Cricut, you've got it unboxed, set up, you're ready to go. You've got your mat, your vinyl, and your design in your head. You open Design Space and whoa, there's layers, attach, detach, group, ungroup. It's so overwhelming. Trust me, I know. I was there, I was you. In this video, we're gonna go through each function in Design Space. I'm gonna show you what it does and how to use it. My name's Ashley, and I'm here to inspire you in all things creative. When we open Design Space and start a new project, this is how our screen looks. I do want to note that I am using a MacBook. There is an app, so your screen may look a little different, but all the same features are there. Anytime we hit this new button here in the top left-hand corner, it's going to give us a new canvas. Now let's look at templates. A template is not something that will be a part of your design, but it's just what it says. It's a template which you can add to your canvas to help you size and position your design. So let's say we're going to make a t-shirt. We're going to add that template to our canvas. Now it gives us a template for the front and the back. Let's say that we want to put mama across the front. We're going to add text, type in mama. Now we're able to position it on our template, and we can play around with the size so we can get it to the exact size we want for our shirt. Now when you get ready to cut, you don't have to worry about removing the template because, like I said, it's just a template and it will not cut. Let's start a new project. Cricut has some pre-designed projects already uploaded for you. If you are a Cricut Access subscriber, most of these will be free to you. We can use this search bar here to search for anything in particular. Let's say we want to make a coffee mug. If we search for that, this is all of the pre-designed templates that are available to you. Let's say we want a baby gift. I type that in, and then here are some projects for babies. Okay, our next button that we have over here is shapes. This will bring up a bunch of shapes that you can use for your project. These down here are extra shapes that are for your Cricut Access users. Again, these will be available for you if you are a subscriber. I am not, so let's go ahead and choose this circle. Now, once you click it, it will send it over to the mat for you. Here's a heart, and let's do a star. So these are here for you to use any way you like. Our next button is images. Now, these are images that Cricut already has uploaded into its Design Space. Again, if you see the A in the green here on the image, that is available to you for free with your Cricut Access. If you are not a Cricut Access subscriber, you can certainly still use them. You'll just pay this fee. Each of them are a little different, but you would just pay this fee for the use of it. You can sort here for free images, which is what I often do, and that shows you all that are free to you, completely free. Again, you can use the search bar here to look for anything in particular. If I type in Apple, all the Apple images come up. Now I have free selected, so that's what it is showing you. If you unclick free, that shows you all the Apple images in Design Space. And you'll notice some will be free with Cricut Access and some have a fee. I particularly like this one. Okay, our next button over here is text. This is one you're probably going to use frequently. If you hit text, it allows you to type anything in onto your canvas. Let's do the inspirational mama. We're going to leave that there for now. Now let's check out phrases. These are similar to images. They're just phrases, so they're little sayings that you can use. You can sort them the same way with free. Some are free with Cricut Access, and then you can always pay a fee for each of them as well. The next button is Upload. This allows you to upload any of your files, SVGs, PNGs, images from your camera roll into your canvas. So that covers your buttons here on the left side. Let's go ahead and do these on the top. This back arrow is, of course, your undo button, so it will undo the last thing that you did. And then this button is the redo button. You know how to use those. That's pretty self-explanatory. Next, let's hit this button. That selects everything on your canvas. Then if you hit it again, it will deselect. You can also select things by dragging across them, like I'm doing here. And you'll notice once you have something selected, that opens up some other options across the top. So let's take a look at these. The operation changes it from a cut to, you can change it to a pen so that it writes it out for you. You can change it to full or score, print then cut, or you can change it so that it's a guide. If you use it as a guide, it's a lot like our templates we talked about previously. It won't actually be added to your project. So we'll undo that and put it back on basic cut. The edit button allows you to cut, copy, paste, duplicate, or delete the element that you have selected. You can also get that list by right-clicking on the element itself. Offset is one of my favorite features. You'll notice that if you click on offset with your image selected, it will bring up this border around the element. You can adjust the amount of offset by sliding this bar to the right, gives you more of an offset, to the left gives you less of an offset. Once you have it adjusted like you want, if you hit apply, you're able to separate the wording from the offset. So then the offset actually becomes its own element. There's so many things you can do with that, and I can show you that in another video. Here, you simply just change the color of the element that you have selected. Okay, our next button is Align. So with 2 or more elements selected, if you click on Align, that allows you to adjust it. You can align it to the left, to the right, you can center align it, or center it completely. Now let's look at Arrange. I want you to think of each element on your canvas as a different layer. So let's move the star down here, and we want to select the star and say we want it to sit on top of Mama. So we're going to select the star, we're going to click Arrange, and then Bring to Front. And you see how that brings the star to the very top. Now there's a few different options with Arrange. We brought the star completely to the front, but let's say we want it behind Mama but in front of the offset. Instead of send to back, we'll just send backwards, which sends it back one layer. So you see it's just behind Mama. Here, if I change the color of the star, you can see what I'm talking about a little better. Now if we select the star and send it all the way to the back, it's going to put it back behind the black layer as well. Our next button is Flip. You can either flip horizontally or vertically. So with my wording selected here, you can see when I hit what it does with each of those. Next, we have our sizing options. You'll notice that if you use these arrows to move it down, it changes the size of your element. You can also do that by dragging one of the corners here. Now it's important to note that if you want your element to size proportionally, you want to make sure that your lock is locked. If you unlock it and resize, you're able to drag it in both directions. Now rotate here is exactly what it says. If you increase the number, it will rotate for you. Now you can also do that by grabbing the little arrow on the side, but this is just another way to do it. Position is the position on the canvas. So if you want to nudge it just a bit, you can do that here. You can also grab onto it and move it as you would in any other program. Now let's talk about font. When you have your wording selected, if you click on font, you can come here and see all of the fonts that you have available. Now these, you'll notice in the top, I have Cricut selected. These are the Cricut fonts. And again, you'll notice with the A, they are available with Cricut Access. And then of course you also have your fee that you can pay for each individual one. If you go up here to filters and click the free button, you're able to see all that are available to you. If you have fonts that you have already purchased, they will show up in this free list as well. Let's choose this one here. We're going to change the color back to blue. Now with your wording selected, you're able to use the style to keep it regular. You can make it bold, italicized. You can do bold and italicized. Here you can change the font size to make your text larger or smaller. Letter spacing, if you increase the letter spacing, it spaces them out. And respectively, if you decrease the letter spacing, it puts your letters closer together. Now let's go ahead and separate these out so that they're on separate lines. Now we can go up here and choose line spacing, and that is the spacing between the lines of the text. So if you go down, it brings your lines closer together, and if you go up, it spaces your lines further apart. Now with your lines separated, you can go to align everything to the left. You can align everything to the right or back to the center. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the same line, and now we can use the curve feature. So if we drag this bar to the right, it curves down for us, and then we can adjust the amount of curve or even make it a full circle. Back to the left is the opposite, and it curves up. Now under Advanced, we can ungroup to letters or ungroup to lines or layers. Since our wording is in one line, if we ungroup to letters, we have each of the letters separate. Now let's select our wording and go over here to the right. If we hit ungroup, that again ungroups the wording to individual letters. We can go ahead and select everything, and if we hit group, that puts it back together. Duplicate is just what it says. It allows us to duplicate the element that we have selected. And then delete is just what it says. Now if we come down here to the bottom, we have some more options. We're going to take these and put them on top of one another and select both of them. If we hit slice, that breaks this up into completely different layers for us. So we can pull each of these apart. Now we like the way this looks here, but say we're ready to cut it. So we're going to come up here and click Make It in the top right hand corner, and it's going to send it over to our mat. Now you'll notice when it pulls up to cut, it's going to cut each color on a separate mat. But let's look at the wording. You'll notice here how it's not together, everything's separate. Cricut does this to save you vinyl, but we want it all as one piece. So we're going to select it. And then down here, we're going to hit attach. That is, I like to think of it as sticking it to the mat, so it leaves it in its place. So now if we go back to cut it and scroll down, we have all our wording just as we want it to cut. Now let's look at flatten. We're going to take the two of these and put them together. We're going to select both of them and hit flatten. Flatten is a feature that you're going to use with print and cut. So I use flatten if I'm making stickers. Okay, now let's look at contour. To do that, I'm going to insert an image. This one's cute. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. So we add it to our canvas. We're going to ungroup it. Then we're going to select this little ghost here. Now we're going to click contour. And then we're able to go in and click on each of these. So if we deselect these and then go back out, you'll notice that they are removed from that part of the image. Let's go back to contour. Now you can hide everything, which will completely remove everything, or we want to let them all stay. I'll be glad to go over this feature and others in more depth if you guys will just let me know. That covers all the functions in Design Space. See, that's not so bad. I recommend saving this video or coming back to it as you get into Design Space and play around with it some. Try out each of these functions and see what you can do with it. If you have any questions at all, please ask down in the comments. I am here to help any way I possibly can. Until next time, happy crafting.